got some fire. We got some fire for you, family. I'm glad y'all in the house. Make sure y'all get over to Patreon. The link is right there in the chat video description. Click it, get over there. I just dropped some fire over there today. I also uploaded some new live streams, General SETI membership exclusive for the members. If you're a member, get over there. We got that work, even Sarasun SETI YouTube page. Also, exclusive membership live stream was uploaded today. Make sure you get over there. KingSeti.com online marketplace, official General SETI products, DVDs, t-shirts, hoodies, African and Kemetic necklaces, Patreon, not Patreon, but Teachable. We got some self-help programs for your family, get you together, 25 steps to the redemption of definitive black manhood is there for you. Make sure you get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it, share it with your family and friends, and most definitely, let's get to work. We talking about the lies that are being told by Marcus Garvey today. We have to deal with the lies, because, it's coming out about, Haile Selassie. A lot of these groups, man, it's some real treachery going on right now. And we cannot fall for this treachery. The lies that are being told by the Black Power Pan-African family, you feel me, who have been dynamic for the most part in showing our people a way of self reliance, you see, doing for self, in any which way possible, and especially in a society where our people have succumbed to either the oppressor give it to you or you just rot. You see, and that's what a lot of them, they never had the initiative to get up off of their ass and do for self. And Marcus Garvey was one of the first ones. He wasn't the only one, but he was one of the first one that ultimately, on an escalated level, put a program out there for our people to do for self. You see what I'm saying? In an escalated manner. Okay. And always, our people, the demise of our people is always, there, to, dismantle any type of initiative that we have anyway, any which way you can imagine to do for self. You had the FBI, you had Edgar Hoover, you see, in his plans, and he brought Marcus Garvey down. He was there with Malcolm X. He was there with Martin Luther King. He was there with all our people. That motherfucker is an ancient devil, sitting there, plotting the demise. He was there with the Panthers. He was the one. So we have to look at a lot of the lies that are being told about Marcus Garvey. A lot of people say that Marcus Garvey, wanted all our people to move to Africa, in which it was just not true. Okay, was just was not true. That he, had a vision of African black people having a home base in Africa, where if, under the oppression of many of these European countries that they was living in, if they felt that they wanted to get the fuck up out of there and not live under that oppression, that there would be a place in Africa for them to go. Okay, so, people have to get the story right. They have to get the story right that, Garvey was looking for black people to be prosperous wherever they were on the planet, but to have a homeland, to have a home base. You see, a home base in Africa that we could govern. He was talking about self. He was talking about self-governing. He wasn't talking about like today where people go and blend into, other countries. No, Garvey was talking about running that land. And so he went to Liberia. He was talking about setting up a self-governing with him being the provincial president. You see, provisional president. He wasn't talking about being up under no other people. So that was clear. So, the thing is that, I'm looking, studying about Marcus Garvey. And I put in here, I say, did Marcus Garvey want all black people to move back to Africa? And the information was available that Marcus Garvey did not want all black people to move to Africa. He strongly advocated for the voluntary return of a significant portion of the diaspora to help establish an independent, self-governing black nation there. So you're talking about at a time when Garvey was, the majority of the nations in Africa was being ruled by white people, period. They were not even independent at that time when Garvey. So what he was saying was really revolutionary because shit, I mean, you know how you think you just gonna go in there and these peoples is in control. They had not even relinquished. I mean, you didn't start getting independent Africa, and they ain't independent. That's just a disguise. You see, that's just a disguise. So you didn't have, independent African nations into the 60s. Shit, a lot of them in the 70s, in the damn 80s, they wasn't even free yet. So what Marcus Garvey was saying in the 1920s, them niggas was over there enslaved. They was deep in colonialism. So Garvey was talking about advocating for an independent nation ruled by diasporan blacks. So, he wasn't telling people to just go over there because it wasn't no place for you to blend in no way. Because all that shit was over there was colonized at that time. So, so he was independent, self-governing black nation there. His primary goal was to create a strong, unified, and economically independent black global nation to command respect and protect black people worldwide, not necessarily to empty the diaspora. So people got to get their motherfucking information correct. They got to get, just to put a base in the motherland is what he was saying, to be a home base for family that, and symbolically, be the, a fountainhead, to lead liberation everywhere else in the diaspora and wherever else we were located on the planet. You see, so key aspects of the Back to Africa movement included racial economic independence. So Garvey believed people could not achieve full justice or equality in a white-dominated society, which is true. You niggas out here cooning and buffooning, scooting and pooting, thinking that this Neanderthal gonna give you something, nigga. He gonna be fair with you. He gonna give you what he ain't never gave you yet. You see, now all of a sudden he gonna have a good heart after 300 years of violence and all racial discrimination and all that. All of a sudden he gonna change into a good Neanderthal and give you what he never gave you before. He gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you this time. You see, he gonna give it to you this time. And so, and emphasize self-reliance and economic power through black-owned businesses such as the Negro Factories Corporation and the Black Line Shipping Company. Now, people sitting up here got their mouth running talking about Marcus Garvey. They trying to talk about he was a swindler. And these is guys and shit that's supposed to be Rastafarians and all. You've been exposed, nigga. Who worship Haile Selassie, who was a slave master. Did y'all know that Ethiopia? Did y'all know that Ethiopia had slavery up into the 70s? That Haile Selassie had slavery? He was in Africa, and just like any other, he's an Arab. Haile Selassie is an Arab. You see what I'm saying? He's an Arab. He act just like an Arab. Yeah. He proposed establishing an independent, internationally recognized black nation in Africa, initially attempting to negotiate a settlement in Liberia. This nation would serve as a powerful homeland for people of African descent globally. Okay, the UNIA promoted Pan-Africanism, racial pride, and self-determination, aiming to unite all people of African descent under the motto, one God, one aim, one destiny. One God, one aim, one destiny. Migration was envisioned as a voluntary choice for those who saw no future in their current countries. Not everybody. Migration was envisioned as a voluntary choice for those who saw no future in their current countries, not a forced relocation of all black individuals. This got to be clear. People's is lying out here. You see, Garvey reportedly once stated, I have no desire to take all black people back to Africa. There are blacks who are no good here and will likewise be no good there. So he recognized some things about, the nature of a lot of these Negroes. And I see why he say that. You see, and them types is still here today. The only thing is the good black people haven't come up with, they haven't come up with the initiative to get the fuck away from these people, because they ain't gonna do nothing but bring you down. That's all they gonna do, and that's what they've been doing ever since we've been here, is bringing us down. So we understand about the Black Star Line was intended to facilitate trade and transport willing pioneers and immigrants to Africa, serving both a practical and symbolic purpose of connecting the diaspora to their ancestral homeland. So that was very powerful. Yeah. Man, get out of here. I mean, is you go, I mean, come on now. I mean, you just gonna come in here and what is this shit? You gonna say what is you talking about? Man, I ain't never heard no shit like that in my life. Don't care to hear no shit like that. I ain't never heard no shit like that in my life. I ain't never heard nobody mention it until you put it in there. That's real. And I've been studying Marcus Garvey for the last 30 years, and I have never heard nobody say nothing like that at all until you just put that in there. So where the hell did you hear it from? What quality of people are you listening to that you will recant some shit like that? I mean, where did you get that from? Where is your reference? Okay? Where's your reference for that? Since you want to put some slander shit in it. On the topic of Marcus Garvey. Okay, where at though? What topic? Where did you got it off the internet? Was it a conversation? Was it a YouTube page? Where did you get this information from? I want if you can't goddamn tell me the source of the damn, it is slander. If you can't give me no source, it's slander. What is you talking about? It's slander. You gonna cut into somebody's sexuality and you ain't got no damn sources? What is your source? Bring me a source. Bring me the goddamn source. You ain't heard shit I said. You ain't heard shit I said. What is the source? You heard. You gossiping then. You heard. I'm asking you what the fuck is the source? You ain't put the source in here yet. What is the source? Man, get the fuck out of here. You full of shit. You a bitch ass nigga. Get your bitch ass out of here. Yeah, I ain't got no time, nigga. If you got a motherfucking source, bring the motherfucking source, nigga. Other than that, get your bitch ass out of here. You know what I'm saying? You just y'all slanderers because y'all know I'm putting the truth in front of the people, and y'all motherfuckers ain't got nothing else to do but slander and all this, that, and the third. I've never heard of anything like that in my life. I ain't never heard. Let me see. Just and I ain't gonna even but yeah. I'm gonna leave that alone because it is what it is. But anyway, because even the goddamn internet say the same goddamn thing. No evidence. Nobody even heard of no shit like that. Y'all on some bitch shit. But that just show you what type of nigga y'all belly crawlers. Y'all crawling on y'all goddamn belly. You see what I'm saying? Crawling on your belly. Cause you losing at this time. You losing. So just let it be known. You niggas is losing. Okay? And as long as I continue to put the truth out, you gonna continue to lose. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I know. But sometimes I just, we gonna do it. We gonna do it with truth and righteousness. You feel what I'm saying? They can't beat me, dog. They cannot beat me, cause I'm gonna just drop straight facts. You feel what I'm saying? And so let me So when we talk about, okay, let's talk about. Yeah, I discussed that part. Let me get back over here. So, even when people try to boost Elijah Muhammad's blueprint was established off of Marcus Garvey's blueprint. Okay? Now, the UNIA, Marcus Garvey had the Negro, what they call the NFC, the Negro Factories Corporation, was an economic enterprise established in 1919 by Marcus Garvey and the UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association, as part of Garvey's broader movement for black economic independence, self-reliance, and nation building. Okay, so it was like, again, it was founded in 1919 in Harlem, and it was the economic wing of the UNIA. Now, what did it? It was designed to create black-owned and black-operated businesses that would employ African Americans and circulate money within the black community, what Garvey called economic nationalism. Okay? Garvey's idea was that the true liberation couldn't happen without economic power. So the NFC aimed to provide jobs for black people. That's right. Promote the production and sale of goods made by black workers. build a self-sustaining global black economy connecting African Americans, the Caribbean, and Africa. Listen to that. Listen to that. Because people keep acting like Marcus Garvey just wanted people to go back to Africa. And everybody know, you hear that? Building a self-sustaining global black economy connecting African Americans, the Caribbean, and Africa. You see, so he understood that that blacks was gonna be in other parts of the world. So for people to act like, that it's about just going back to Africa, it's not just going back to Africa. It's about practicing black nationalism wherever you at on the planet. That's right. And with having a home base in Africa, which we need. Which we need. These goddamn Europeans got colonies all over the world. They got colonies all over the world. And we're not saying a colony, we're talking about a home base for the diaspora. So, so that we don't have to deal with a lot of the issues that we might deal with just going to, other African nations that got a lot of hurdles for black people to jump over and shit like that. If we had our own land in Africa, then we can establish our own government and run our nation in Africa to our own liking. You see, we could deal with other African nations from a national level instead of going in there as individuals and shit and going into these societies. Sometimes there is a certain amount of prejudice and shit for anybody coming into that nation. If you're not of the ethnic background, then they could be prejudiced to you, regardless to whether you from the diaspora or just from another ethnic African on the continent. You see, so that's exactly what it is. It says so. Businesses established under the Negro Factories Corporation, the UNIA launched several enterprises, including a grocery store, a restaurant, a printing plant, a clothing factory, a doll factory producing black dolls for black children, laundry and tailoring services. Many of these were based in Harlem and other major black communities. So, so that's where Elijah Muhammad got his blueprint from. Okay, that's where he got it from. So why do people keep talking about Elijah Muhammad had the best plan when Elijah Muhammad's plan was actually Marcus Garvey's plan? Let's just be serious about that. See, let's be serious about that. Okay. Now, after they locked Marcus Garvey up, so a lot of his, things failed. But they saying the Negro Factories Corporation was a pioneer and model of black economic cooperation decades before movements like the Nation of Islam's economic programs, the civil rights movements by black initiatives, and the Black Power era's cooperative economics. So before all of that, before the Panthers and what they was doing, before the civil rights movement by black initiative, before the Nation of Islam economic program, we talking about decades before that. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Garvey's blueprint, Negro Factories Corporation, is what laid the black economic blueprint, you understand, for all of these groups. Okay, for all of these groups. So we got to quit lying today. We got to quit lying. Y'all tethers. Y'all the tethers. Y'all tethering on Pan-Africanism. Y'all tethering on black nationalism, because that's what black nationalism come out. Black nationalism is Pan-Africanism on a national level. That's all it is. You see, many of them guys was also because they was working with motherfuckers in Cuba. That's you going outside of your damn. Some of them was working with other nations though. They wasn't just tied. So there was a globalism that was connected even to the Panthers. There was a globalism. They was getting support from in various nations. Just happened to be communism. I myself, I'm not into communism, but they started to in Malcolm X global ideology. All these groups were going global. You see, so that's a lie. That's a lie. You got to trade. You got to have allies with somebody. You see, yeah. So nah. Yeah, they did. Wait a minute. Now I had asked some other questions. Now a lot of people, what a role, okay. And I'll talk about that another time. But everybody know that Malcolm X's father was also a Garveyite. That's why Malcolm X was so astute in goddamn in politics. He was far more advanced than Elijah Muhammad. Man, people's just talking crazy. People's just talking crazy. Malcolm X was already had been schooled in Garveyism. That's why when you look at all these other preachers and leaders in the Nation of Islam, all of them was biblical. They was more, Khalid started, Khalid was political, but all that biblical, mythological shit. Malcolm X was straight politics. You didn't, yeah, he was straight politics. You didn't hear Malcolm X on, he had teaching, but Malcolm X's greatest speeches was on nationalism and politics. You see, clearly showing that he had been schooled long before he connected with Elijah Muhammad. You see what I'm saying? Malcolm X had already been schooled into Garveyism. So y'all tweaking when y'all acting like Elijah Muhammad taught Malcolm X everything he know. Yeah, he did help him in the time of his lowest period. Yeah, he did. But Elijah Muhammad seen the greatness in Malcolm X too. He didn't put him in there at the head because he was doing things that, I mean, look at what Malcolm X did. He also, and I'm gonna go to another video, in just a second. He was the one that created a newspaper, which he got the idea from Marcus Garvey. Okay, what was Marcus Garvey newspaper? The Negro, I believe it was Negro Speaks. I think it was Negro Speak. The Negro world. Yeah, the Negro world. The Negro world. So that's where he got the idea of the uh Muhammad Speaks, founded in 1961 by and Malcolm X was the one that started that paper. Muhammad Speaks. Marcus Garvey newspaper was the Negro World. So, I mean, y'all, let's stop this. Let's stop this. Let's stop this. You done took your formula from Marcus Garvey. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around that. Buy Black initiative. That's Marcus Garvey. But own your business is Marcus Garvey. First one to set up black businesses in the black community. Marcus Garvey. First one with his own flag. Marcus Garvey. Newspaper. Marcus Garvey. What the fuck is y'all talking about? What is you talking about, man? That's right. But anyway, family, I appreciate you. I'm going to end this particular video here because I don't want too much of the information to be bundled up on one video. I want y'all to be able to separate a lot of these topics. I'll be right back, family. Yeah, arm yourself. When I get over there to Patreon, we got some new fire up. We got exclusive videos, membership videos, General SETI, Sarah SETI. They up there on fire. Go get it, family, and I'll see you real soon. Get a video a thumbs up, like it, because you love it. Share it with your family and friends, and comment, comment, comment. Boom, Black Power.